Planet magazine.
Also known as Wednesday 13.
Welcome to Brutal Planet magazine.
Welcome to Brutal Planet magazine.
This is all comfortable video. Welcome to Brutal Planet magazine.
You're listening to Brutal Planet.
Hey, what's up, everybody? CJ Pierce here from Drowning Pool, and you're listening to Brutal Planet Media right here. Get yourself.
Hey, I'm Steve from Within the Ruins, and this is Brutal Planet.
Greetings, Brutal Planet. We're live tonight with Mr. Steve Zing and the guys from Mourning Noise. How you guys doing?
What's going on?
How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing really good, man. I listened to the record today. I really dig it. Colette obviously wrote a killer review of it.
Yes, thank you.
She's much better to speak to it probably than I am, so I'll let her do a lot of the talking. But my favorite song, just to get this out of the way, "We Want You Dead." Probably the best title of a punk song ever. But
You know what? With a lot of people, song fits, the title fits.
great song, very catchy. I approve of the message. I love it.
Perfect for these times.
So yeah, I don't know. What do we want to start off talking about? First, the making of it, the writing of it. That's usually how I
Or
I
No
talk.
Values. Did you guys play?
Oh
you guys-
my gosh, yeah.
Oh,
that.
you like well, pick a subject, any subject.
Basically. About
Colette?
yeah.
What do you think? No Values?
Oh, I thought we had agreed on that. Yes, sure. Since that was
values.
longer ago, we'll start there. Right.
How was the show for you guys?
Oh, it was amazing.
Great. Incredible.
It was amazing. You know, we got to play in the West Coast for the first time, so it was really good. And I think we turned a lot of heads, people that had a clue about us but had never seen us, and really, I think we went away with more fans, and to me, it was a success all the way around. The show, obviously, we all got to see some of our favorite bands, like the Damned, of course, the Misfits, Dickies, Iggy Pop, Social D, and stuff like that. And so it was amazing. The whole day was amazing. It went by so fast.
We talked to you before, Steve, but I think we kind of focused more on your past career. Do you guys want to kind of tell the origin story of Mourning Noise and the history of the band and how you guys kind of came to this point?
So 43 years ago today, really, it's like 43 years ago. Chris and I were in a band years ago when we were in high school, and that band broke up. I wound up going to someone's house, and I still can't figure out. I didn't have a license at the time, so I don't even know how I got there. But I wound up in a different town in someone's basement, and we started playing. We were jamming to Misfit songs and Black Flag and whatnot. And the guitar player, who happened to be Tommy, he had recently not had a band at that point. So I said, hey, why don't we do a band? And I'll call the other two guys that we had in this former band and see if they want to do it. So I called Chris and I called the old singer, and they're like, sure. So we got together and we played a few years, I think. And it broke up partly because nobody liked the old singer. We couldn't get along. And Tommy quit because he didn't like the singer.
I quit.
He quit. So I tried a few different variations. And then, of course, Sam Haines started, and I had put it to bed. So over the course of the 90s, we got back together once or twice or do some small shows. And then we let it die out. So fast forward to, I guess it was around 2021, 2020. Cleopatra, they had sent me a contract probably in 2019, 2018. And I never did anything with it. Finally, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And they reissued all the old stuff from the 80s that we had never bothered to put out. And it kind of caught, it got some legs behind it, right? So people at that point, people were sitting home ordering records, and it was selling pretty well. So we decided that, wow, this is doing good. Maybe we should get together and play and see what it's going to be. So we did call the old singer, and it just didn't work. It wasn't going to work. Too many bad feelings and just too many things in the way. And not that he's a bad guy, but it's like relationships, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work.
And health.
And health problems and whatnot. But so we decided we're going to hold auditions, and Tommy put it out there, and he came down. And in fact, I think we had some people sending cassettes.
Oh yeah.
And that wasn't going to work because they were not from within the state, but he came down, and I've known him since he was a little kid. His dad would take him to Danzig shows, and he sang 2 or 3 songs and knocked it out of the park. I'm like, okay, great. And we went from some bad food afterwards that Tommy took us some place, and that was it. So we decided that we were going to write some songs, and fortunately, I have a studio, so we came down and we wrote a song. And then we wrote another song and we recorded it. And that turned out to be our EP that came out 2 years ago, I guess. Yeah. And then Cleopatra's like, you should do a full length. I'm like, okay. So we kept recording. And that came out 3 weeks ago, which is the new album, Scream Dreams. So
this is kind of a slow build to this. You guys kind of been working on the songs over a couple of years.
Well, at least over a year, because it takes time to put out your materials. Like, yeah, you could throw anything online with the click of a mouse, but if you want production, vinyl, CDs, it all takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So that took probably 7 months.
Alone on just
6
that.
months on vinyl, because there's not many vinyl producers in the world that can do a good amount of vinyl. So that's why it takes so long.
They were backed up for a while.
Yeah.
You actually doing it old school.
Yeah.
The first album then that's listed on Spotify, that's like the reissue stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the first like new thing.
Right. And there are people that go, well, it sounds nothing like the old stuff. Well, you know what? Why would it and why should it? If we haven't grown musically in 40 years, then there's a problem. And Robbie's his own person, as is Chris, and we've all grown, right? You have to grow. Nobody wants to do that stuff. And it was good for what it was for that time. And it's like we're able to write better stuff.
Do you write together? Do you like get in a room and jam, or how does the writing process? That's what I'm always curious about.
I mean, we come down, we have ideas, and we come down and we go in the other room and we kind of start the idea, and Tommy will always do something to say, no, I don't get it. What if you tried this? So collectively it works because he's disruption all the way. And you know what? You need disruption. There's nothing wrong with disruption.
It works.
It works. I mean, that's why we have, teenage aggression, right? Because when you're a teen, it's all about disruption, right? So thank God Tommy is still like an old man teen.
Old man teen.
Old man teen.
I feel like you kind of have to be that to be a musician, right? Like you kind of have to have some kind of a youthful energy about you.
Except he has no energy. But
I said he's the only one there who can't defend himself, right?
That's right. That's why we're talking about it.
Talk about him the whole time.
No, but the great thing that works is, I think all of our influences are somewhat the same, but different as well. Right. So, Robbie has a wide range from Queen and Danzig and Kiss and the Good Rats. And, and Chris likes a lot of that same stuff. And, my background is old punk stuff and 50s music and whatnot, and Tommy is just stupid music that he's liked over. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No,
He's at home watching. He's pissed off.
yeah, Tommy.
Good thing you can't write in.
Yeah, no, Tommy likes like old hardcore and stuff like that. So again, once you gel it together, it makes it what it is. And you know what? There's no. Robbie and I were talking about this. What I like about us today is that the next record we put out, obviously it's going to have the same feel, but I like to think that we're like the Damned. If you think of the Damned, every record that they've put out kind of has the basis of what the Damned is about, but sounds kind of different. Right. So that's what made them great. From you take an album like Machine Gun Etiquette and then you go to the Black Album or Strawberries, and it's all different, but it still maintains what the Damned is about.
All the best bands, I feel like, kind of reinvent themselves a little bit with each album. Like Led Zeppelin, for example, it's like there's always elements of what they're doing, but every album kind of has its own unique thing.
It just gets boring doing the same thing too.
Yeah,
totally.
You want something else.
And you go through different moods. I mean, sometimes you want to write a heavier song. Sometimes you want to write a more catchy song. It's you go through emotions.
And especially Robbie basically writes all the lyrics. So, it's whatever he's feeling, right? And sometimes we can take a song. If you think of this, if you listen to our album, there's a song on there called Sin, which is starting to get good traction on Spotify.
That's my favorite one.
So
that's probably me. I played it like 100
Well,
times.
a lot of girls love that song.
Yeah. But what's interesting about that song, I remember when we first started working on it, it was nothing like how it came out. And when he started singing the lyrics, it took on it just kind of morphed into this whole thing with the whole beginning. And he plays a real violin
There's
at the
violin
beginning.
on it, yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
You actually play the violin?
Yeah, I played violin on that.
That's amazing.
I was like, is that an acoustic or what's happening?
No,
yeah, okay.
Violin. So, again, it's like we start writing, and again, something just could morph from where it started here to here, and there you have the final thing. We're not thinking about we have to make a song that has to be like this. It is what it is.
Yeah, I've heard so many artists say that that's what kind of kills it. If they start thinking about like, well, what do fans expect, or like, what should we sound like based on this genre or whatever.
Glenn Danzig told me that you as the artist have to be happy with it. You can't write for someone else, because at the end of the day, especially now, whatever you put out is going to last more than our lifetimes. So I was going to say, get that bug off your screen. But yeah, whatever you put out, you have to be happy with, and hopefully that'll convey to your fans. But it's important that we're true to ourselves.
Yep, I have that.
You were talking about
art to gratify the artist. With you 100%. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's totally the goal, right?
That is the goal.
I when you were talking about the band being disruptive and stuff, it made me think. I watched an interview. I think it was the guitar player from Slipknot, but he was like, when we write something, it has to go through 9 different filters before it's a Slipknot song, and I'm just like, that's kind of cool. Like for a band, it's kind of like everyone kind of brings a little bit of flavor to the mix, and
that's why it works the way it does with us, because everybody has we have our own different flavors. Someday he likes cherry. Someday he likes chocolate.
Like, I could give you a specific example with the track called Angel Lounge. I remember I was playing that kind of, it's almost like a funky chord progression in the intro. And then Tommy's like, no, I don't like that. It's too predictable. And we changed it. And then Chris added his bass lines into that intro. Do-do-do-do. And then all of a sudden, Steve starts playing a beat that I would have never thought to play during that, that pre-verse bit. And it's what brings it to sound like Mourning Noise, but that's what I guess you're getting at with like the different filters. that's what makes it unique, you know, and that's what makes it a band sound, you know.
Yeah, that's the best.
And you know, and Robbie's a very prolific writer on his own, you know, but what he writes has, of course, what he's about, but it's different than what this is about, right? Because again, it's the little flavors of what everybody brings.
Yeah, it's like when a band
in the playing styles, you know, he would play something different than Tommy would play, you know, and it's just, again, it just evolves.
And it gels well. It makes it unique. You know, I'm very proud of that.
Definitely.
We don't really owe you.
Yeah.
Not at all.
What were you trying to say, Colette?
Oh, I was just gonna say it's like when a band goes solo, like certain artists will, you know, like I don't know, best one I can think of is Guns N' Roses. When they all kind of went solo, you could hear what elements they had been adding to the band, right? Because that one element is kind of in the solo stuff, and then you hear how it all comes together.
Yeah. It also doesn't work as well. Like when Freddie Mercury went solo, you kind of realize, like, oh, it's not quite as good.
I disagree with that.
Oh, really?
I was like, wait, no, I don't know. I haven't heard the solo stuff, but I just mean for me, it was like the different elements. Like I can hear, like, oh, they're the punk influence.
Don't get me wrong. I like Freddie Mercury's solo stuff.
No,
but I didn't even know he had solo stuff.
Oh, listen
Really?
to Mr. Bad Guy. Mr. Bad Guy is an amazing record.
But yeah, I mean, look,
I love Queen.
you know, but you're right. I mean, Freddie by himself is a little different.
It's different.
You know, it's much different because the input of those three other guys, you know, meant everything.
Right. Like Colette was saying, you could kind of hear what he was bringing to the table, but it's a little less. It doesn't have the dimensions that Queen does.
Right.
I guess.
Yes.
It's still good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like Flash's solo stuff is really, I like it unto itself, you know, like separate from GNR, for example. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's more bluesy and guitar virtuoso-y and that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to deal with Axl. What are like when I listen to that stuff, to you guys' stuff, I hear a lot of like different goth and punk bands that I like. Like so many different things that I could suggest, but it's probably just that you guys were influenced by some of those bands' influences as well. But are there any like I hear like little bits of like Social Distortion here and there, or like little bits of like even like AFI maybe? But
I was gonna say AFI.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool.
I mean,
they're like, are we okay with that?
He's old school. Like I, you know, I like all those bands.
I like the bands,
but I, you know, and maybe, you know, maybe subliminally, it comes out because it's not like you sit there and go, oh, I want to sound like Havoc, or I'm going to write like AFI, but you know.
We don't even listen to it and then
and then
really say anything like it sounds like that.
So, you know,
it's a frame of reference thing too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And the influence, like you said, I think AFI probably has a lot of similar influence. I mean, Danzig's, I think, is the common denominator of this whole conversation.
Misfits.
I think for melody purpose, absolutely. And, you know, probably, you know, Glenn is probably in the back of every rock writer's mind, you know, for the influences he had in the music society in rock, more than most people could ever know. So I'm sure it's somewhere in the back of our heads. But again, you know, there's only so many chords you can write, then it's all about the melody.
Sure. The other thing I will say is one of the things I love the most about it is there really isn't anything I could compare the sound to. I can't go like, oh, these guys sound like kind of like this band or whatever.
Right.
It's like fresh, like original music, which is very rare to come across these days. So kudos to you guys on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That means a lot. I mean, that means a lot because again, that's hard to do, right? What hasn't been done? You know, everything's been done, but again, I think it comes down to once again the collective unit, right? He does his stuff. He sounds like him. That's all good. I do other stuff, but it's all about being a collective unit, which makes it sound what it sounds like.
You got to put your ego aside sometimes. Like he was talking about that guy changing his riff a little bit up. Sometimes you know, a bandmate or someone does that and you're like, oh wow, that's a lens I never would have viewed that through or something, you know?
I think the great part about this is that there is no ego in it. I don't care if he tells me they'll play the beat like this. Okay, let's play the beat. Who cares? You know, it's right. We try different things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
it's all about serving the song. Not every song needs a guitar solo. Not every song needs a crazy bass line. It's all about what fits here. What's gonna help this, to its best ability.
I've played and recorded with other people that they'll listen to the song and go, I can't hear, and it's all about their part. It's not about the song, it's about their part. Mm-hmm. And we don't have that here. It's about the song. At the end of the day, without a song, you got nothing. You can have a riff, but that doesn't mean you have a song.
Did you have a producer, or did you produce it yourselves? I forgot to
we
check
produced.
Because I was going to say that can be difficult. Like when you said, oh, my part's not loud enough. When someone produces themselves, it can be tricky because you can tell, like, oh, the singer definitely produces because that's all I can hear. So, but I don't get the sense. That's why I had to ask.
No, I think, we'll do mixes and we bounce it off each other. And Tommy always says he can't hear the guitar, but that's because he's deaf. So in fact, he can't hear anything.
Tommy's like the punching bag since he's not here.
Right.
Well, even if he was here,
later on when we talk.
One of the other albums that aesthetically this reminded me of is the first Queens of the Stone Age record, and I think it's more just because of the aesthetics of the record, like a good raw indie rock record. I don't think you guys sound like Queens of the Stone Age.
No, look, they had their thing of they took the stoner rock thing to the next level, right? I mean, that's what that whole thing, and especially what was that? The second album, Songs for the Deaf, right?
That's the third one, I think.
One.
The first one that Josh Homme did, like almost by himself. Just it's like a really raw record, and I think just the raw sound you guys have is what called that to mind for me, anyway.
Well, I'll take it.
Nah.
You might not have even heard that record, but
I don't think I did. I know I guess it was the second one
with there's Rated R and then the one you're thinking of is the one with Dave Grohl.
That's the third one.
The Songs for the Deaf.
Second one was really good too.
Yeah. All their
still
stuff.
Had the bass player Nick, right?
Nick Oliveri.
Yeah.
He's in a band called like Killer Dwarves or something like
that.
Something
like that. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
A few times.
Anyway, sorry, Colette.
No, it's fine. So for me, I guess the question I have is there going to be, more shows like a tour or something you will end up jumping on, or any news on that front?
We just signed with an agency, with a booking agent. So that's in the works, and hoping to get back to the West Coast end of August, early September. We're playing in Jersey in August as well. So you'll be hearing and seeing a lot of us, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, because I hate to admit I didn't get to see you at No Values. I was trying, but there was a lot
of traffic.
There was a lot of people.
A lot of people took them 2-3 hours to get in, unfortunately.
I thought I left early.
Yeah.
It sounds like that was just not well planned.
The parking thing wasn't planned. They had nobody running the park.
Right. And I think what should have really been a 2-day festival, they put into one day. And I think somebody told me that really the capacity was like 25,000, but they had 43,000 people there. So you think about, how many more cars and how many more people to get through gates and security and all that stuff. And, it's pretty taxing. So they'll probably learn for next year.
Yeah. Are they going to do it again? Do you know?
Yeah. So
through the grapevine or anything? Or is there going to be another No Values? I was curious.
I would think there was. I think it was very successful for them. Hopefully I don't know what bands.
I don't know how they could top it.
I mean, you had all.
True.
You had all the big punk bands there. I don't know who's left. I mean, they had some big British bands there and stuff. So we'll see.
Who were some of the bands on the bill that you guys were really excited to check out? Aside from like Danzig, of course, and
the Damned.
The Damned were incredible.
Unbelievable.
Dickies.
The Dickies.
Fear?
what else did we-
Fear's
Iggy,
always
Fear.
Fear was fun. Yeah, I got to see part of the dam too.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange was there.
Iggy.
Oh wow.
Iggy
Yeah.
Pop, 77, 78 years old.
And still shirtless.
That's his brand.
You can't argue it.
And still sounded great.
He did.
Great.
Yeah,
His
he
band
didn't
sounded
lose
great.
any energy whatsoever. You know. So
Had a horn section. He had.
yeah.
And you know,
Yeah, I was impressed by that.
for as
It's
many
great.
bands as there wasn't many bands that I was upset that I missed. Like I would have liked to have seen L7, but I was on the Dickie side anyways, so it just made sense. But there wasn't too much crossover where I was like, shit, I missed this band and this band and this band, you know? I think they did that pretty damn well.
Yeah.
They skewed the lineup out a little bit in a
Yeah.
right way, maybe.
10 minutes apart, like where you can run and maybe get to somebody else in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We got lucky as artists. We got to take the golf
We
carts
got a
behind,
golf cart ride.
backstage, golf cart to the next stage. So it was.
If I had had a golf cart, I could have seen like so much more.
You guys had the true VIP.
Yeah.
What else do you
Yeah.
got, Colette?
Oh, I was just gonna add to the live show thing. I'd really like to actually see like a show with just a couple bands where you guys are playing. That would be awesome.
We'll
Maybe
get there.
inside even with shade.
Yeah, and if they spread it out over 2 days, maybe you get 20 minutes to go between bands or something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Uh,
They had a hard curfew at 11 o'clock. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the deal too. These venues, they have to deal with the neighbors.
Yep, that's exactly it. Sound regulations and everything.
What's next on the agenda for you guys?
Actually, we will be recording more stuff. We already started actually, so we're going to continue that. Obviously, the album is only 3 weeks old, so we have a lot of promoting to do. We have
Yeah.
another video coming out for "Misery Loves Me." We were just working on it's a live from a live show we did last year, opening for the Misfits at the Prudential Center here in Jersey, and we just remixed the audio for it, and that'll be coming out hopefully in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's great. So you're actually the video is completely live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have a question about Robbie playing guitar. Was that intended when you were auditioning singers? Did you want that more guitar? Or did that just happen?
That just happened. I mean, we started writing the new songs because the first show I did with them, we didn't, at that point, it was so brand new. We didn't have the new stuff. But immediately after that show, we started writing. And
Yeah,
I
I never
remember-
had two guitar
Yeah.
players.
no. And Steve, I remember, hummed me the riff in "Misery Loves Me," and I started playing on a guitar. And when we went and recorded it, I did the guitar. So it just kind of, Tommy and I play really well together because we have such different styles
And
So-
sound too.
Yeah, it gelled and it just organically came to be. But no, I did not think I was going to play guitar at first.
How did that come up? You just decided you're showing him a song or something?
During writing,
Really? Yeah.
yeah, during writing sessions, I was playing it, So I said, "Fuck it," we just kept it going.
Yeah, because I think that's something that makes a difference in the sound for sure, like on this new album, because you get just slightly more rock, I think, when you're got two guitars. A lot of punk bands are like very simple, just 3-piece.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's something about just a 4-piece band: guitar, bass, drums, vocals. In this case, because as you said, there's so many different elements to the songs now that Robbie's a great lead guitar player, as is Tommy. Tommy's got his style of like a Steve Jones type playing, and he's got that particular sound. If you took Steve Jones, Johnny
A
Ramone,
little bit of surf.
the Cramps, and you rolled it into a ball and hit him in the face with it. I could say that because he's watching. See, the reason why he's not here, he said he had to go to bed early. Because he's a painter, and I don't mean an artistic painter like Salvador Dali.
Like a construction painter.
Yes, he's a union painter, and he gets up very early. He reminds us of that all the time. I gotta be up at 2:00. I gotta be at work at 3. Right. But he's home listening because he's sending me texts.
He knows you're talking trash.
Of course.
His ears were ringing.
He needs more comfortable sneakers.
Yeah, he wears Converse, Chuck Taylors. He has no support, and his legs hurt, and everything hurts on him. And he doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to listen. So anybody out there that's hearing this, send him recommendations on Facebook on what to wear on his feet. He's tried insoles. Don't tell him about Dr. Scholl's. That doctor's dead a long time ago. It ain't working for him. He needs a good shoe.
We got some people in the comments for you guys. You guys know Chris Sirk here?
How you doing, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
He says, "Where's the big kielbasa?"
That's Tommy. Tommy is Polish, and he is a big kielbasa. In fact, he smells like kielbasa.
And then we got Antoinette Poncelet Band. He's grumpy like Eddie Enzyme.
Yeah, he's pretty grumpy.
Eddie.
Tanner Raleigh says, "Rat bastards."
Yes, we love Tanner. Tanner's like our little brother.
Takes a lot of pictures.
You guys got the crew in the chat tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. So go ahead, ask me a question. Any question.
Chat questions. We got questions from the chat. Last time I talked to you, Steve, we went off on a tangent about 70s music, I think.
Yes.
We talked a lot about I think one of the things that sticks out, you mentioned grand rock. I remember that.
Grand rock.
I've coined that.
What is grand rock?
Well, people our age are grandparents. So, but they need something to listen to too. So I call it grand rock. So I bought all the domains, grandrock.com, grandrockmusic.com. I bought all these different domains around grand rock.
Because it's like basically like classic. There's classic rock, and then there's
classic rock is for old people. Grand rock is for people that are still cool, but they're their grandparents, and there's nothing for them to listen to except they go home and they put on their Foreigner album, that they were listening to when they were a kid, and that's like, okay, but what's next?
Right. I was bumping Foreigner the other day, actually. I think the trends in music are going back to kind of more what you guys are doing. I feel like a lot of people are like, there's a backlash a little bit to the over-processed kind of like really, I guess process is the best word I could use. I was looking for another one, but
I mean, we love technology, and Robbie and I are always buying new things and stuff like that. And as long as it's used in a musical way and not that you have to rely on it, because the one thing that we always have to, that's always in the back of our mind as well, is how do we reproduce this live?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we're not going to use tracks. That's not, and I'm not against any bands using tracks.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're produced, to make it sound big, you can't have 10 people on the stage.
Yeah.
It's not cost effective. So they use tracks for all these little intricate parts, because you have no choice. But I think I don't foresee us ever doing that. Let's never say never, but we don't need to. I mean, we're able to pull it off.
I mean, even in the studio, we every song was tracked live, which is not a norm, I think, with a lot of bands today. A lot of bands, track to a click or a metronome. We did everything organically, really organically.
And again, we've done stuff many times with a click track, but I like the ebb and flow. I like movement in a song. You need that. That's what brings you in.
Do you know Rick Beato? Have you seen that guy on YouTube?
Of course.
Yeah, he had a great interview with Jimmy Chamberlain from Smashing Pumpkins, and we might have even talked about this before, but he was like, yo, you can't record some of those songs to a click because of the dynamics of the drumming and stuff.
It's true. I mean, again, without dynamics, I can't pull you in. Then it's all of a sudden it's a dance song. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like if it's, you know, it's okay. It's
Four
okay.
on the floor.
Right. It's fine.
Yeah,
like
no,
that
I
humanness, you know, it doesn't have to be like all quantized and
No,
perfect. And
exactly.
Robots played it.
Good to have swing.
yeah. And that's, I think, one of the things that's, like I said again, stood out to me about you guys' record is it just sounds natural. It sounds like a great, like, organic rock record.
But it doesn't
Thank
sound
you.
like crap. Sorry, but
No.
I'm a big fan of punk and also of black metal, and there's this sort of like cavolt, like, oh, we have to sound like crap to be like underground and cult and stuff. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Lo-fi.
I hate that.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, again,
You say underground when you
That's
do
what the
that.
kids call it now is
Yeah.
lo-fi. Yeah.
yeah, you know, again, I think we use technology
As a tool.
as a tool,
And
not
appropriately.
yeah, and not something to lean on. I mean, for you know, to create things that we couldn't reproduce, as we just talked about. But I think, you know, I want it to sound good. You know, we've invested a lot of money in what we have, and it's important. And you know, it's what's interesting is there's times where we'll use a cheap little amp. He's brought these little amps down to has a certain sound. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we don't need, you know, you don't always need, you know, $1,000 amp to make something sound good.
It goes back to what serves the song.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only way to be.
But
You know what? If it sounds good to us, then it's good for us. And
Yeah, I love that mentality, because if you are happy with the music, the art you're creating, if you get off on it, then other people are going to.
you know, I'm real proud and happy of the sounds that we create. One thing, like as soon as we're done like mixing it, I very rarely listen to the stuff. They listen to it, but I kind of like to move on from it. But then you know, we go to rehearse and I forget what the song is because I'm like, I don't listen to the songs. I do know them now though.
I saw, I think it was, I can't remember who was talking about this, but it was a musician. They're like, it's never finished. Like you have to like really get it to a point where you're just happy enough with it. Otherwise you'll spend, 10 years in the studio.
That's the one thing about owning your own studio. When you own your own studio, you know, when you have to go to a studio, time is money and the money is yours.
Yeah.
When we're in our own studio, there is no time per se. There's no dollar amount going per hour. So we can keep going back and changing things if we want.
Right.
But at some point you got to just stop, because then you start losing the creativity part, because you want to fix every little nuance. And there's certain things. I mean, I'm not the biggest Beatles fan, but if you listen to some of those Beatles songs, like Please Please Me, there's a part in there where John and Paul are actually singing two different lines at the same time. They left it. You know what I mean? So there's little things. It's like, is it going to make or break it? No, let's move on.
It's a happy accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that balance between, sounding raw and like natural, but then I can hear all the instruments and it's mixed well. I thought this had a really good balance of that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's a tough one to achieve.
Yeah.
It's usually
and
too
some of
much one way or the other.
Well,
some
we
of
got
those inconsistencies make it sound natural rather than just everything's perfect on the machine.
Yeah.
You know, I'll start the mix because it's usually in my house, and then Robbie will come over, Chris comes over, so we have two more sets of ears, and then Tommy again, who hears nothing, send it to him, and he's like, sometimes he'll make sense, and I'm like, what do you mean you can't hear the guitars? That's the only thing on there. What are you talking about?
Or other times you'll respond, thanks, Phil Spector.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Never hear the guitars well enough.
But then he'll say, well, what do I know? Bingo.
Yeah, my husband turned our living room basically into a recording studio. So
Nice.
I know that. He's definitely one of those where I'm like, it's fine. It sounds fine. He's like, no, I got to do this little thing to it. Just put it on Spotify.
You're like, I'm trying to eat dinner. Can you finish your bass track?
That's right.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, I know how that
Don't
is.
wash the microphone.
There's potatoes on it.
Mhm. Yep.
So, do you guys have any shows coming up anytime soon that we could talk about? Or
August 4th. Yeah, in New
Lake
Jersey.
Como.
So
Lake Como?
yeah, it's Jersey Shore.
By
Belmar.
Asbury.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
part
yeah.
of- yeah.
So yeah. So we'll be doing that. And like I said, I know we have the agency now, so they're working on getting us a bunch of shows, and once again we'll wind up back out on the West Coast and hopefully get to the Midwest.
Yeah, I haven't got to see you guys yet, so and neither is Colette. She even though she's trying,
I was supposed
even though
to.
she was right there.
I was like a couple miles away.
We should have broadcast it so people that were stuck in their cars sitting in traffic. could
Yeah.
see.
Pretty good. Yeah,
Live
about 10,000
streaming.
people watching it.
Exactly.
Well, the record's great. So I didn't really have enough time to. I haven't really really listened to it. I listened to it a couple times and got a feel for some of it. But it's one of those albums that there's a lot going on, and I'm sure that I'm gonna, dig into some of the other tracks. And right now, one of my favorites, like I said, is "We Want You Dead."
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that would like that.
It's just a great song title.
I'll be honest. People send me a lot of stuff. Listen to this, promote this, promote it. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, there's juicy, we'll see. It's pretty rare that I throw something on and I'm just kind of doing other stuff. And I was like, wait, I actually really like this.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone else I've promoted.
Oh,
I was like, wait, hold on. I know, because sometimes I know it's not my genre, but it's good for that genre. But
I like to think that we have grown musically, all of us, even though he's much younger. He's grown musically since I remember him giving me his first CD many years ago. He was a teenager, but we've all grown musically to the point where I don't want to pigeonhole what we are, who we are, what we sound like. We don't have to, right? I think we're a little stronger than that, especially as a unit. And the only thing that comes good with age is maturity, as far as not having to think that we have to put the blinders on and go one direction. So
yeah, that was one of the things that caught me. I was like, wait, this isn't repetitive. All the songs don't sound the same. I'm hearing different things in different parts.
Mm-hmm. It's clear you guys are, focused on writing great songs.
Right. And I call it more of an area code maybe than a genre. I don't know how to really describe it either, but I have an area code for sure, and it was in that area code.
I like that. That's good.
It fits the gothic punk aesthetic, I would say.
But it wasn't just that, but definitely
I think that's the roots of all of us in a way, in a weird way, except for Tommy, of course, who
always got a backhand Tommy.
But he's more he's more of this, he loves surf music, the Ventures,
dirty punk,
dirty
old
hardcore, 80s hardcore. And he likes Queen and stuff like that, but again, you add that element of what he brings, and his playing, it's all about downstrumming, and for a person like him, if he can't do it, he doesn't want to do it, because that's what he's known for. I mean, and he breaks strings basically almost every song. I mean, so it's hard to, he's always trying different strings and different picks to figure out how he cannot break a string during a song. So, he really pounds these things. And again, it's that element of bringing all of our different ideas, our influences, and just life in general, right? As Robbie was saying about when you hear a song and it's about what mood you're in. Tommy's always pissed off. He's always pissed off. I don't think I've ever met the guy in one day that he wasn't pissed off. So that's a really good element to bring.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
gives you guys rough edge.
Well, we got to lock him in the basement, sometimes in the garage.
Duct tape his mouth.
Yeah, we've done that before. But you know, again, it's those elements. It's all about the elements, and we couldn't do it without each other. So
I have to ask: is Danzig a fan? He's supportive of you guys?
you know, somebody asked me that the other day. I don't know if he's heard it. I mean, I'm sure he has by now. I've never asked him. Maybe I'll ask him tonight.
And then like email us or something. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be, but
Yeah.
you know, just seemed like something I was curious about.
I was also like Colette. I was really impressed with the record. I can't say enough good things about it. And like I said, the songs are great. So I'm really excited to like really delve into it and hopefully catch you guys live when you get out here again.
And where are you located?
I'm in LA
We're
okay.
both in LA.
at the moment.
Well, we're trying to get out there to do the whiskey, so
Oh,
I'll definitely keep you guys informed
Awesome.
and come on down.
yay, the whiskey. Play in Hollywood, please. I know no one plays in Hollywood anymore. It's always Orange County or Pomona or somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere far away.
BFE.
I don't want to drive back to Pomona.
Pomona's great. I think the Inland Empire gets a bad rap too. There's a lot of like, there's a big metal punk audience out there. So,
Yeah. No, I don't have anything against.
I'm not against. It's just far and it's
It's
hot
far.
and stuff.
yeah.
And it's not actually far in. It's just, you know, LA traffic. You just never know.
Right.
Exactly. It seems like every place I have to go is down the 405, and I'm like, why does it always have to be that direction?
My God.
Crowded. When do we get flying cars already?
Mm.
But seriously,
but
no.
that- They'd screw all that up out there too. So
I mean, there's a lot of people here. It's hard to get after everybody, you know. You
There's
got
great-
you got that
There's
many
great
people.
venues in Hollywood. Go to Hollywood.
Yeah. Where can guys follow you? Where can people follow you guys online and everything? Where should people
Facebook,
log in?
Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music.
Spotify is so great. I get concert notifications all the time.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're proud of the followers that we have, and we can't wait to really get out there and show you us live in person.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys. What is it? Just at Mourning Noise on Instagram or Mourning Noise Music or
Mourning Noise.
Official Mourning Noise.
official Mourning
Yeah,
Noise?
Official Mourning Noise. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's pretty rare that people like sort of resurrect a band. That's what I put in my article that was from 40 years ago. I don't know if I can.
I don't think any of us could ever have foreseen this. I think you know what the great thing about it is that it wasn't planned. None of it was planned. We just decided that we were going to do it for some fun, and of course, when Robbie joins, it became a whole new thing. So, and there are people that go, "Well, it doesn't sound like the Mourning Noise from the '80s." Thank God for that. I mean, why would I want to do that? That doesn't make sense. That's already been done. All right. So let's do something that hasn't been done.
Well, and I admittedly didn't go back and listen to the old stuff yet. So Robbie's voice was my first frame of reference for your stuff.
And that's what you should keep in your head.
Great, man.
No. Look, I think for myself and Chris, because Chris was there from the beginning as well, and Tommy, I'm proud of that stuff. We were kids. And we were writing stuff. And for, you know, and Robbie's the same way. You know, he's been writing songs since he was a kid and stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of people that have been playing for 40 years that have never written a song. So the fact that we wrote songs back when we were kids is a big accomplishment, and I'm proud of it. But I'm proud that we've grown individually and as a unit, and that we're able to do what we do now.
So you didn't like, I know you said it, you didn't plan it, but you must have missed it at least sometimes, right? Oh,
I think we all,
Steve stayed in it.
well, we all, you know, we all did our things, and Chris owns his own business, and, you know, Tommy's, you know, the Van Gogh of the band. Van Gogh. He's the, well,
Picasso.
Picasso.
I-
But he has both his ears for now.
Well, I don't think he has either ears because he says he can't hear.
Double Van Gogh.
Right. So I want to say something to Tommy right now. Tommy, And that's what I have to say about Tommy.
Oh, that's terrible. I can't believe you said that.
No, but everybody had their things going on over the years, and again, it not being planned, it's still, again, I think having the influences, whether they were playing music or not, for Chris has gone to see so many bands and has grown in what he's listened to, and Tommy's never really stopped. He had a whole bunch of bands.
Fartheads, how could you forget them?
Right, he had the
Dentures.
fart heads, the dentures. No, yeah, the dentures.
The denture.
What was Tommy, the shirt that the dentures had? We walk, we don't run, or something.
That was really the band, the Dentures.
The dentures.
It's like the Ventures, but with a D.
Yep, that's
Yeah, I
exactly what it was.
And the
Surf
Ventures
guitar.
had a song.
Surf stuff.
The Ventures had a song. What was it called? Walk.
Walk,
I
don't
don't know.
run.
Yeah, and it said
That was
we
the
walk.
Ventures.
We walk because we can't run or something.
Okay, now I get it.
All
Took me a minute to connect Ventures and Dentures, but when you said he was surf guitar,
Right. No, he loves surf music, and he loves that band. That all girl band. Two girls.
One Cup.
Indigo Girls.
Indigo Girls.
Okay,
He's a big Indigo Girls.
Real
fan.
kids. He likes the real kids a lot.
Yeah.
Indigo Girls. Wow.
I haven't thought
Yeah.
about them in a long time.
Yeah, they were really famous for being open lesbians, right? Like when it was
Nice.
before
Like
it was
the
like
80s.
okay.
That's why Tommy liked them. They were open about it. I don't know. But everybody, again, we have wide musical tastes, but when it comes down to it, we have we have the basis of what we're about. That's all.
We got some good contributions to that conversation in the chat here. False Teeth Surf Rock.
Good one.
And then she said suffragettes.
Suffragettes.
Suffragettes, okay.
There is a band that suffers.
That's good. Very good.
That's good.
Well, guys, we've been on almost an hour. I don't want to keep you too long, but I could stay for another hour if you want, if there's more to talk about.
No, again, just find us on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple
Official
Music.
Mourning Noise.
Yeah,
And that's MOUR morning.
Oh, that's important. Yes.
yes. And Cleopatra vinyl, CDs, cassettes. We got
Buy
it
the
all.
real stuff.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
real album.
But we appreciate your support, and
Absolutely.
thank you for the
Great
beautiful review.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it, and we appreciate that
welcome.
you listening. So thank you.
You guys, the music's legitimately great. I love finding. I would call it a hidden gem. It's like one of those things that like Colette said, unsuspectingly great music. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's really good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
everybody, check it out. Thank you guys for coming on tonight, and come back through when you have an announcement to make or you're touring or anything, man.
When
Absolutely.
you're playing here, tell me first.
Yeah. Colette
In
gets
Hollywood.
first dibs because she wrote a fantastic review of the album. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
all right, we're gonna shut it down. Thank you guys so much.
Take care.
We'll see y'all next time.
You got it.
We're out of here.